Hey guys, welcome to the Stream Space. Welcome back if you've been here before. This is take 2 of the video game pickup video I was trying to do. We had an issue with our camera. We can apparently no longer use the ring light on it, so if the lighting is bad, I do apologize for that, but I think it's fairly bright in here. Excuse the stubble. Anyways, so we're going to go over our most recent set of pickups. We've been struggling a little emotionally, so, you know, it's been a little while since we actually did one of these videos, but we do have some good stuff. We have good stuff to talk about. So, a couple big releases recently that we're not fully up on, but we will be. Yeah, we got Battlefield 6 and Silent Hill F that I want to check out. There's so many good games out right now. And then you got all the Switch 2 stuff that's been coming out, so we're just winning across the board. So, before I get too far into that, though, we're going to, well, got lots of good stuff to show you guys, so I figured we'll just get started. We're going to start with Xbox. Let's give it a shot. So I'll bring these over. Yeah, first up in our Xbox lineup is actually, so we found this at Value Village for like $3. Star Wars Clone Wars, but with Tetris Worlds as well. So we got, I like flying Star Wars ships. I think they're like the coolest as far as flying games go. So like anytime Rogue Squadron 1, 2, 3, we got Squadrons that came out for the Series X, and that was like one of my favorite flying games, like one of my favorite early releases. So it's exciting to pick up one that is for classic Xbox. Next up is Space Marine for the 360. We played all of the first game on. We played the second game, sorry, let me correct myself. I played it on PC, but I do own it on Series X, because it's like I wanted to have a physical copy of this game. It's one of the few times that I bought a game a second time, so I could have a copy that for the actual system. But this is, I actually played 2 before I played 1, so I've started playing the remastered version on the Series X. LA Rush. I really like the premise of it. It's a kind of a build it from the ground up type street racing game, kind of in the heyday of those, and there's a story mode to it and everything, so I'm kind of excited because West Coast Customs let them put their name on it. So there's apparently, I guess it's like 350 miles of LA that you get to mess around in. So, and there's licensed cars, which is nice. Yeah, no, it's exciting to see an older game like this. This is one I found at Level Up. The one I found Space Marine at was Video Game Trader, so another local supplier. Seems to be the only place I can get games is the local one. We got Metal Dungeon. Metal Dungeon, you're like, what is that? It's basically a turn-based JRPG, but it's very mechanical and techno-y, so it's set up in the future. So I'm actually kind of excited to play it, and I do love games like this, so this is one that I'm excited to play. Turn-based, there's a lot of, looks like it's got some unique art to it and everything. It's from a studio I've never even heard of called Zycat. Another classic Xbox game, and that was a Level Up find as well. LA Rush and that were both Level Up. I got LA Rush for $2 at that one. Another Value Village find, Epic Mickey 2. This and the first one were actually apparently really good games, and I never really got to play them when they first came out, so I got a couple of games from this era that were like, they're kind of sun-faded. You know, you can see it's kind of sun-faded in the top there, but I'm still excited to play it because I like, there's certain Disney games that are good, especially when they get like actual universal acclaim. I think that's really cool. Moving on, we're going to talk about the 2 Wii games that we bought. It's been a long time since we added anything to our Wii collection, but Need for Speed Nitro, it was a racing game built from the ground up for the Wii, and I'm actually excited to play it, and it looks like it's got licensed cars and everything, and it does support, you can do full customization, and yeah, you can use a controller, or you can even use a steering wheel. If you got the Wii steering wheel, you can use that instead. Found it for $5 at Value Village, in excellent condition. Next up, Final Fantasy Crystal Bears. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. the Crystal Bearers. It looks like a much more realistic take on the Crystal Chronicles art style. And I mean, I gotta say, I'm not a fan of that, because I really liked Crystal Chronicles art style. I feel like it fit it so well. And it was like one of my favorite games for the GameCube, and I was so happy when they remastered it for the Switch. So those are the only two games we have for the Wii. PlayStation is our big draw on this particular pickup video, so I'm happy to show these guys off. And there is a grand finale game that we will actually play the intro of immediately after. So, Justice League Heroes. It's for the PSP, and we found this bad boy at Level Up. This is basically Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but with the DC hero roster, which is awesome, because, you know, beating people down as Batman or Superman, that would be fun. I mean, you got to admit, though, like, the power level on the heroes is, like, way higher for DC characters in general. Like, you know, you pit Iron Man versus Batman. I think Batman's going to win that one for the most part, because he's going to disable that suit immediately. It's the first thing he's going to try and do. He's gonna hit it with an EMP or something. Like, I think they were just more powerful heroes, and that's an opinion. That doesn't mean that some of my more favorite characters in the entirety of comic book anything are not, you know, they are Marvel characters. I love Batman. I love Superman. Flash is awesome, but nothing beats Iron Man or any of the original Avengers. They were my, like, I was becoming an adult, and they were like, I remember the first Avengers came out, and I just remember laughing and cheering when the Hulk beat the ever-living crap out of Loki. I mean, there was not much that could top that at that time. And, you know, Man of Steel was an amazing movie. I enjoyed that one so much. It was my favorite take on Superman until the newest one. And the newest one brings me joy. Honestly, the new Superman movie brings me joy, and I gotta say, I'm so happy for James Gunn to have made it the way that he did. I have no complaints. So Justice League Heroes, solid choice. Found that guy at Level Up. Next up is another Value Village find, and that is Gretzky 06. This is for the PSP, and it was one of only a few hockey games that were actually made for that console. But I really like hockey in digital form. I'm not a big fan of playing it. I don't mind watching it, but it's not like my favorite pastime. And it's exciting to see it be in such good condition, and I like digital hockey. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily top the Sega Genesis era of sports games, because I would play baseball, basketball, hockey, all on those. I've actually found them really fun. And I was so bad at the hockey, but I enjoyed it so much. Next up was one that I didn't even know existed, and that is Alien vs. Predator Requiem. You play as a predator. I don't think you get to switch to an alien for any reason, but it is a hunting game as a predator, and it's kind of in the same vein as like Concrete Jungle. You know, it's probably on a much smaller scale. But there was a survival mode that you could play with 2 players, which I thought was kind of cool. But it was also a game, again, that I didn't know existed. If you're not sure about, like, well, what's AVP Requiem, that is the one with the infamous maternity ward scene with the Pralien, where he is implanting the zygotes into pregnant women and their babies at the same time. 2 for 1. So, pretty screwed up. It was a very screwed up scene, but it was, like, that was horror. That was them diving into the body horror roots of the series, and I can't even fault them for it. Next up is MechWarrior 2 for the PlayStation. This is, the last one was Video Game Trader Hall, so is this one, and I just like, you know, it's a first-person mech fighting game, and it's so cool to play these games. I remember having a friend when I was younger, and he was so into these, and he had no manuals, but he built these, like, custom MechWarrior style mechs, like, and they were gigantic, they were heavy, they had missile launchers, everything. Like, they were very, very impressive. This is when I saw what, like, Lego could potentially... Jesus Christ, this happens every time. I get yawny, and I don't know why. But, it's one of those games that is, like, it's just embedded in our culture in terms, like, we got Mech Assault, and, Front Mission, and then one that is much smaller. It's called Metal Warrior, and it's like kind of cool because it was one of the first games of its type that would actually let you even get out of the mech. You could actually get out, and your mech would just be stationary, and you could run around and shoot stuff, which I thought was super cool. And you could blow stuff up all over the place. I remember having it for Super Nintendo and being like, I don't know why we ever got rid of it, but it's like now it's like a $350 game, and I was like, damn it! It was the first mech game I ever played, and I was like maybe 3 or 4, and I thought it was like I thought the world of it. Next up, and they're continuing with PlayStation, Blood Drive. This is basically Twisted Metal with Twisted Metal meets Roadkill, which was a free roam kind of Twisted Metal-y type game with the added bonus of zombies. Yeah. It even had multiplayer. Obviously, that's not really going to be much of a thing anymore, but it was for the PlayStation 3, and I didn't even know it existed. I did see this in a GameStop clearance bin, like in 2024, early 2025, somewhere in there. And, I mean, funny enough, like, this was impressive in the sense that they wanted like $40 for it, and then, like, you know, I go to Video Game Trader where I found it and only paid $20 for it. Kind of, I won on that front. Next up, and this is kind of cool because I like these ones. I like anime games, especially from the PlayStation 2 era. They did them very well. And that was Dot Hack Infection. So this is the first one in the series. It's one of 4 games. I can only remember that I think the last one is called Mutation. And they have each an anime DVD with them. And it's based off of, like, it really feels like this is where Sword Art is heavily inspired by, because it's a very similar concept. People are trapped in the game, so on and so forth. And so you get to play as Kite, and then you get to run around, and, like, you get to choose your class, and there's a bunch of mysteries to solve, and it is a lot of fun. Funny story, I was playing this with a friend when I first got it for my PlayStation 2. We picked it up at Blockbusters, and we were, you know, having a video games and other stuff. And they were playing with it, and I'm like, you know, I'm going to grab a snack. You can play by yourself for a bit. So they had their own save. We were both creating our own characters and different classes and stuff. And they decided to try out the random search for world generation. And I don't know what they used, but I don't remember what the code specifically that they typed. But they decided to use this code, and they landed in this world with giant mushrooms. And I'm like, okay, mushrooms, they're not intimidating, they're just mushrooms. Oh, I was wrong, because they got one shot by those mushrooms. Those were some strong mushrooms, and they got rightfully fucked up. So the moral of the story really is just don't use random searches, because even in real life, that can be dangerous. Anyways. Next up, and this is based on a series that I actually adore. It's one of the first shows that I watched that really challenged, like, the way that I watched, like, what I watched as far as TV went. It was kind of like before I really dived into Breaking Bad, which I really love that show. I've seen both that, Saul, all of it, the movie, all fantastic. Great show. But it's called The Shield. And this is Michael Chiklis, and he was in, he plays the Thing in the Fantastic Four, in the original Fantastic Four. Sorry, not the original, I guess. We're talking, like, that's the one from the 80s-ish. And then there's the 2004, 2005 movies. That's the ones I'm referring to with this guy. He plays Ben Grimm's The Thing. Anyways, so it was a series that really kind of, like, is a show about dirty cops, basically, called The Strike Team, and he's the leader of that team. And Walton Goggins is in it, and it's actually just a rock-solid show. There are other characters. Swatsky, I think is his name. He was a character in Sons of Anarchy. One of the seasons, he got blown up by a landmine. And I was really annoyed by that part, because he plays a really good character in the show for this. But it's fun, because it lets you do the same type of interrogation tactics and all those things, so, you know, that's another level up find. The Dot Hack Infection was Video Game Trader, so was Blood Drive, just so you guys are aware. This next one is one that there's a couple of these that I didn't even know existed. That is Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja 4. So I found this guy for $30 at Level Up, which is another small provider of games here in my general vicinity. And actually, I'm really excited about playing this one, because this is, like, I didn't know this. I knew 1, 2, and 3 were a thing. I didn't know this one was a thing. I also learned that the PSP version had a sequel and a threequel. So there were 3 PSP games as well, which was called Ultimate Ninja Heroes 1, 2, and 3 Shippuden. And they're great. They're great games. I gotta say, like, as far as translating it to a small screen, that was like probably one of the best attempts I've seen of doing so that I ever saw. So I'm excited to play this and maybe unlock all the characters. Next up, and this is kind of that's a level up find. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. That is Blood Rain 2. So it's kind of that same era of like really Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, Blade 2, kind of the same general vibe because the main character is a vampire. But, you know, it's giving them sharp blades and a couple guns and letting them go crazy and taking out enemy vampires and other mutant creatures and stuff. But there's a bunch of combos and stuff and a bunch of puzzles. So, I mean, I played the first one and I got stuck on the first boss because it really felt like there was nowhere I could frickin' go. I could not figure out how to actually fight him. But I think as an adult I'd have a better shot. But, I mean, I loved games like this. You know, Devil May Cry, Blade 2, all of them. They're actually pretty good. I was even playing the new Blade 2 on emulator on my MSI Claw, and it was solid. It played really well, and I think I'll really enjoy it. So we're down to our last game. This one I'm most excited for because I actually do want to go play this almost immediately after. But anyways, we got Digimon Story Time Stranger. This is the newest Digimon game in the series. The cellophane is still on and crinkly. And I'm really excited because, I mean, you look at Cyber Sleuth 1 and 2, Hacker's Memory is the second one, and then the first one. They're great. And then New Order is like a callback to the original game, so I'm glad that they're continuing the story series, which includes a ton of customization in the evolution of your creatures. And that's something I need from my Digimon games. I like to be able to control their evolution, and it kind of plays on an evolution system that was really brought in with Digimon Dawn and Dusk for the Nintendo DS. Now, I never played Championship, but Digimon World Championship is apparently really good too. But these guys, I mean, these style of games, these are probably my favorite, and they are more mature. So Digimon Survive was something in between, where it was like almost like a Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy Tactics style game. It had a really dark story, and this is the more standard kind of 3-creature fighting that you would see in, like, you know, more of a Final Fantasy type game, but obviously with them being Digimon and not Pokemon. I'm honestly surprised this game still came out among all the PAL World stuff, but it did, and I'm excited to play it, and I'm happy that it's here. And it's the first Digimon game ever that I've been able to buy brand new. Like, so I get to play this, and it's new. It's not used. It's not had to spend 3 weeks trying to find it, or I think there was one other game, Next Order, when I was trying to find a copy of it for PS4. Like, I looked for a really long time before I actually found it. So, really excited to play this. But anyways, that kind of concludes our... I'm trying to think, is there anything else I should show you guys in terms of games? If you guys have PlayStation Plus, go get your Alan Wake 2 Basic Edition, because, I mean, that is like, if you want to buy that, like, just trying to find it locally was being like, I've found it for maybe $120 in some cases, and $70 in some. Like, I feel like it's, like, still really high priced. I haven't finished the original, but that is on PlayStation Plus right now, so you guys should go take advantage of that, along with Cocoon and one other game. So, I mean, if you're a fan of those games, then you can go get them for free, as long as you obviously have your PlayStation Plus. So let's not forget that these are games that are given to you only if you keep that subscription active. This is an issue that I do take with even Xbox right now. We do have an upcoming review that I think is a big deal, and that is the Ally X. We did get a hold of a review copy of the Ally X, and it may very well replace our MSI Claw if the performance is where I want it to be. We have had also a string of really cool Temu things that we want to show you guys. I'll show you the first option, the first thing in the Temu stuff, because it is gaming related. It is technically a gaming pickup, so I'm going to actually show you guys this because I am enthralled with this controller. This is a you've seen it probably in videos on YouTube and stuff, but this is a Manba 1 controller. That black space in the center is a screen, so you can control sensitivity, lighting. I'll show you. It's got vibration. Those little side panels, they are lit up. They are cyan right now. It's kind of hard to see with the white saturation. We are working on getting a better camera, by the way, because currently this one's on its way out. But I use this for playing like whatever I want on this system. It's got controllable 4 programmable buttons on the bottom, plus controllable trigger wells. So you can switch these, and then they'll act more like a button than a trigger. And just you can switch it to a PlayStation 2. Or sorry, not PlayStation, Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. It maps to them through Bluetooth. Or you can play it on your PC through a receiver. It also does work in Bluetooth, but honestly, I just kind of... It'll only connect in Switch mode, and then it messes up the buttons. They're rearranged and shit. So, honestly, I think that I got a wicked deal on this controller from Temu, and I would say it's worth it. It's been probably my favorite controller purchase, and I have a lot of controllers. I have a Blue Cypher, sorry, Sky Cypher. We have the Doom controller. We have the Xbox 20th Anniversary Edition controller, Horizon 5's controller, the Titanfall controller for the Xbox One. We have the Spider-Man controller for the PS5. Like, we have some collector's edition controllers, but as far as appearance goes, this is probably my favorite one for its kind of fade to silver transparent with some RGB mixed in that you can actually control, which I think is probably my favorite part about it. You can control the RGB. So, anyways, that kind of concludes our gaming pickups video. The other stuff we will save for its own dedicated video. Upcoming stuff is obviously we're going to play Time Stranger, and that will be something that we play with you guys so you can see it. In addition to that, of course, though, we do have we got some Power Rangers stuff to do. It's been a while. We have some Power Rangers, some new Power Rangers toys to review. The Reignition series for Playmates has finally gone live, and we're going to show you what those toys look like. However, just as a preface for that video, for the automorphing ones, we're not taking them out of the box. I don't want to wreck them. I don't want them to be loose. I actually want to keep them in their boxes because a lot of our automorphers are in boxes. We have a set of unboxed, but we have a set of boxed as well. And we got the Morpher and the Dragon Dagger, so we also have all the coins. We will be opening those so we can show you the differences between their Bandai and Lightning Collection counterparts. But anyways, we'll do that video another time. Thank you for checking out the gaming pickup video. Find me over on Twitch, Pydera_74. Here on YouTube, it's Pydera Space 74, so that's the difference. We do our live shows over on YouTube for a lot of our streaming, so they usually hit that first, and in case of when we're on PC, it will be both. We will do a full review of this Manba 1 controller so you guys can see like kind of what you're in for and how to control it and customize it and everything, because there's a lot to it. That screen allows you so many options in terms of like just overall control of this controller. So thanks for checking it out, guys. I really appreciate every time you guys still come back, because it's been a really rough go of it for me for the last little while here. Continuing kind of with our outro here, in addition to supporting the channel through your likes, follows, and subscriptions, you can also go to our eBay, which is ebay.ca/svretrotech, and you can find our collection of retro games and collectibles on there. You can pick something up. Maybe you'll find something that you were looking for, and we'll ship that out to you, no problem. And there's also our partnership with W.GG. They sell energy drink mix. They have, I believe, canned stuff, powdered, and then there's also tumblers, sweaters, hats, and all kinds of other swag that you can get. And a good chunk of them. There's even some anime themed ones, which I thought were really cool. I actually got a anime themed tumbler that I had to replace one of the actual lid for, but after I replaced that, it worked perfectly fine. It's just that I left it in my vehicle a few times, so it got brittle from being cold and hot and cold and hot. But aside from that, it's fine. It has a little mixing ball too, so if you're putting drink mix of any kind in there, it just helps mix it up nice and good. So The last way, and probably the most direct way, is our Streamlabs link. And I know that, I don't want to be on here begging for people's money, but every little bit of it helps us because we are actually starting a business and we are trying to focus on bringing you guys channel content on a more regular basis. So after this video, we're going to film one more, and then we will be filming our Final Fantasy VII video for the week, and we're going to get back into getting those videos out to you on a weekly basis. We have plenty of content planned, too. We just haven't really had the energy or motivation to jump on. We've been just dealing with a lot. Business is tough, and supporting a family on that business is equally tough. So I'd be remiss if I lied to you and said, I'm having such a good time right now. I'm not. I'm genuinely not. So, anyways, without further ado, I'll catch you guys next time, and everybody have a great night, or morning, because I'm filming this at 3 in the morning for some reason. Anyways, I'm leaving. Goodbye.